Check mic 1 2 3.
Check. Good morning. እንደምን አደራችሁ? So good to see you all. I feel the excitement in the room already. We're talking about $50,000, and I wish I was one of them. Now that everyone is here, we can begin. Your Excellency Ato Yodahe Zamikael, Executive Director of the Ethiopian National ID Program and our guest of honor for this morning, and Ato Solomon Damto, Director of Payment Services at the National Bank of Ethiopia. And although not able to join us due to an unforeseen situation, I'd like to address one of our speakers, Eva Ngegi Sarwari, Acting General Manager for Visa East Africa Region. And here with us, of course, is Megan Rabe, Senior Director of Fintech Accounts Management for Visa Sub-Saharan Africa. And of course, Ato Yared Ndale, Country Manager of Visa Ethiopia Office. Distinguished invited guests and other team members of Visa present here this morning, distinguished judges, panelists, experts, and leaders in the field of fintech, finance, and banking, and of course, the remarkable startups who are going to share their brilliant solutions and products with us here this morning for that award I mentioned earlier. And dear participants following us live on the Visa Africa YouTube page, live streaming right now, and members of the media present here to take this beautiful news home. And ladies and gentlemen, it was such a great sense of excitement that I say to you all, welcome to the Visa Everywhere Initiative Ethiopia 2023 finals. And to our friends from Kenya, I say Jumbo and Karibu. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of welcome applause to everyone. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as excited as you can see as I am to be your host this morning, please allow me a few words of introduction just to get us started and to set the mood. While, as I always do while preparing for this event, apart from the briefing documents that I have received, I felt that I should look up Visa from its website from the get-go, and I found this beautiful paragraph about this 65-year-old giant Visa, and I felt to start by sharing that with you. And I quote, Visa, a better way to pay for everyone, everywhere, for anything. From your Monday macchiato, this is what I love. From your Monday, it should be this simple. From your Monday macchiato to a week in Madrid and to a kitchen makeover. Whatever it is, wherever you are. We believe at Visa, we have the right payment options for everything that matters. End quote. This made me think about the limitless possibilities Visa brings with its payment cards and all kinds of cards in terms of convenience, security, and acceptance globally. And I looked it up further to find a very impressive fact sheet that states Visa, as the world's trusted network, I said, for 65 years now, and leader in digital payment, it helps power the global economy, connecting people in over 200 countries worldwide with 4.2 billion Visa cards. Can you imagine that? Just printing the cards. That's, say, if I were to be so naive and say one card will cost $1, we're talking about $4.2 billion to just print the cards. Forget everything else, just printing the cards. And I'll go on. 15,000 financial institutions and 269 billion US dollars payments transactions so far, and 100 million plus merchant locations around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, just imagine how much all of that is worth. And what I find even more incredibly impressive about Visa is the huge portion it gives back to the global communities it does business within by so far helping startups from around the world. 100 countries, from 100 countries collectively raising 16 billion American dollars in funding since 2015, including this ones we're awarding today. The Visa Everywhere initiative not only awards winning startups with money, like we do today, but also creates huge access and exposure to Visa's vast network, which later will open very, very big doors for these startups. And from the beginning, for bringing this opportunity to Ethiopia for our innovators, let's please give Visa a round of appreciation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who wish to update your followers on social media, please use #VisaEverywhere initiative and feel free to leave your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. And before we dive deep in, please note that washrooms, if this is your first time in the Science Museum, if you're looking for washrooms, go outside, turn right, and go all the way to the end of the hall, and you'll see the signs on the right. And emergency exits, well, there are 2 right here, only if you can find the keys. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Ethiopia 2023 final competition. And with this, please join me welcoming Ato Yared Ndale, Visa Ethiopia's country manager, for his welcome remarks. Please welcome him to the podium.
Thank you, Tai. Thank you, everyone. Our chief guests, all our partners present today, our top 5 fintechs, Visa colleagues, members of the media, invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen. Ndamna Daraj. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning for the Visa Everywhere Initiative Ethiopia Finals. Congratulations to our finalists for making it this far in the competition. Please give them a warm round of applause again. It was not very easy to select the best 5 out of close to 200 applicants that we received for this edition. I know we all are eager to hear from the startups, so I'll take very few minutes to talk about Visa partnerships with fintechs and why initiatives such as Visa Everywhere Initiative are pivotal to us as a company. It's a well-known fact that Africa's fintechs community is at its forefront of payments innovation and connecting the unbanked to the digital economy. Visa has been working with this innovative community to create new programs and solutions to help them scale while giving access to Visa technology and partner ecosystem. In fact, Visa can be regarded as one of the oldest and the first original fintechs, I would say. Therefore, it is only natural that we partner with this community as we aim to uplift everyone, everywhere, by being the best way to pay and be paid. Ladies and gentlemen, the first example of how we partner with fintechs is through the Fast Track program, which aims to speed up the process of integrating with Visa. Fast Track allows startups the ability to more easily leverage the rich capabilities and security that our payment infrastructure offers, instantly giving fintech accesses to the global network of customers and merchants. It also reduces the cost for fintechs, whether these are related to implementation, market launches, value-added services such as innovative sprints, or market insights. There are 2 ways to connect to the Visa networks through Fast Track, depending on whether the fintechs has regulatory clearance. directly with the necessary regulatory approval, or through the BIN sponsor for non-regulated fintechs. In order to scale better with fintechs, we also recently launched our Fintech Pass-Through program, which is the second way we partner with fintechs. The program allows for the selected compliant processors to onboard fintechs to the Visa network and access similar benefits and incentives at the Fast Track program. The third way we partner with fintechs, which has brought us here today, is the Visa Everywhere initiative. This global open innovative competition sees startups pitch their innovative solutions to solve tomorrow's payment and commerce challenges. Since its launch in 2015, VEI has helped over 12,000 startups from across 100 countries to collectively raise more than $16 billion in funding. Ladies and gentlemen, our other and latest fintech partnership program is the Visa Africa Fintech Accelerator Program. The program seeks to help Africa's expanding startup community through expertise, connections, technology, and investment. It will enable up to 40 startups each year to accelerate and grow through a 3-month intensive learning program focused on business growth and mentoring. Following the program completion, we intend to support their growth with capital investment in selected participating businesses while accelerating their commercial launch through Visa technology and capabilities. We recently completed the call for application for the first cohort, and it is my hope that we all see fintechs from Ethiopia in the inaugural group. Ladies and gentlemen, let me spend 2 more minutes as a close to talk about what is in store for the winner from today's finals. First, there is this validation from Visa, the global trusted brand. Secondly, there is the access to Visa's networks of networkers with ample opportunity for partnerships with existing Visa partners and clients. And there is, of course, the monetary prize, which comes with no strings attached, meaning we don't take any equity stake in any of your business, and you are free to invest this entire amount in your startup. The VEI Ethiopia edition boosts a total of $50,000 in prizing money across various categories. The overall winner will take $25,000, while an additional $15,000 will be awarded to the second place fintech. Another another $10,000 will go to the fintech that will be placed third. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes a strong partnership across each area of the ecosystem to deliver new user experiences, which is why Visa is committed to continue and to champion the fintech community through investment, partnership, and key business priorities. Whether it is changing the way people invest, manage money, receive loans, or send real-time payments to the friends and family, fintechs are transforming the global payments ecosystem at a rapid pace, and Visa is proud to be part of this transformation. Congratulations once again to the finalists, and we look forward to your pitches, and good luck to you all. Amasagnalo. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toyarid. That was Toyarid Ndale. He is Visa Ethiopia's country manager. And well, we look forward to seeing more such opportunities brought to Ethiopia by Visa, because there are so many young people with a lot of innovative ideas who really need such startup capitals. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like I said earlier, although one of our speakers unfortunately couldn't join us in person this morning here, but she has sent us a recorded video message, and I'll lead you to it on the screen. So up next is a message from Ivan Gigi Sarawari, Acting General.
Hello everyone. Thank you all for joining us today as we celebrate the fintech community in Ethiopia and crown the Ethiopian winner of the Visa Everywhere initiative. Let me start by congratulating all the finalists for making it this far and emerging among the top 5 fintechs out of over 100 applications we received. This is the second Ethiopian edition of the VEI Fintech competition, following the inaugural one in 2021. Back then, we received just over 50 applications, and this year, that number has doubled, indicating just how the fintech industry in Ethiopia continues to grow and thrive. At Visa, we understand that fintechs are a key enabler in transforming the digital payments ecosystem. Fintechs are not only central to our strategy, but are critical in enabling new forms of commerce, especially across sub-Saharan Africa, where a majority of the population is below the age of 25 and increasingly digitized. However, as most of you know, launching and growing a fintech is incredibly challenging and expensive. And this is why Visa has refined its partnership and committed to fintechs as we aim to uplift everyone, everywhere by being the best way to pay and be paid. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk a bit about our commitment to Ethiopia. It is clearly a very exciting time for the country, with an economy in transition and ambitious socio-economic goals. And financial inclusion will play an important part in enabling the overall growth journey. We have seen the benefits of financial inclusion and the impact of digital payments on developing economies, and we are committed to helping strengthen the payments ecosystem in Ethiopia. Since establishing our presence in Addis Ababa 3 years ago, we have been working across the financial ecosystem to bring over the benefits of digital commerce and money movement to consumers, merchants, financial institutions, and government partners. We have launched several strategic initiatives with key partners and the government that will further accelerate digital payments in the country and support the country's digital transformation strategy. These partnerships will help bring more Ethiopians into the financial system, empower fintech, support e-commerce growth, and enable a wider acceptance for digital payments. A good example is the technical assistance we have offered to develop a mobile app with a FIDA ID platform for a digital ID and a financial wallet to open social bank accounts. We also know that our role goes beyond providing digital payment solutions. We strive to harness our products, services, financial resources, and people with the goal of making a positive and transformative impact in the communities we operate in. With that in mind, Visa is working to help drive inclusive, equitable, and sustainable economic growth in Ethiopia through various initiatives. One example is our partnership with STEMPower to educate thousands of Ethiopian innovators and entrepreneurs. We do this by equipping them with the needed business and management skills to better prepare them to start, run, and grow their own businesses. In the last 3 years, the STEMPower partnership has connected over 1,000 individuals across Ethiopia to knowledge and skills that they transform their ideas into viable solutions for their communities. Another great example, which we want to bring to Ethiopia, is the She's Next Women Empowerment Initiative. Visa's She's Next program is a global advocacy program that supports women-owned small businesses through funding, training, and mentorship. Since 2020, Visa has invested over $3 million through more than 250 grants and coaching of women-owned businesses through the programs. We look forward to launching this initiative in Ethiopia in the next coming months. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me reiterate that Visa is committed to expanding digital payments in Ethiopia by working closely with government, the financial ecosystem, and SMBs. We're proud to be bringing our programs to Ethiopia as we champion and strengthen the participation of startups and SMEs in the digital economy and the country in overall. We have seen the success and impact of VEI and She's Next in helping expanded financial inclusion and look forward to working to provide consumers and merchants in Ethiopia with the best way to pay and be paid. Thank you all, and congratulations once again to the finalists. Wishing you all the very best as you pitch your solution.
It will definitely be recorded. Thank you so much. That was Eva and Gigi Sarawari, Acting General Manager of Visa East Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, we're almost there to witness the amazing fintech startups ready to pitch for us this morning. But before that, we have our guest of honor to speak. Now, so it's my great honor and privilege to invite to the podium His Excellency Ato Yodahe Mikhail, Executive Director of the Ethiopian National ID Program, for his opening remarks. Please welcome him to the podium.
Thank you, everyone. Very happy to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces, even the ones behind the cameraman. I hate to be those guys looking at the cameraman, but very happy to see all of you. So very happy to see Visa Everywhere Initiative doing their second round of this award. It was mentioned by Eva just earlier on the video. In 2021, there were only 50 applicants. Now we have 200. You can see how the fintech ecosystem is it's exploding. It's not slowly evolving. Things are changing very fast in Ethiopia, and government is here to make sure that there is the framework, the policy, the legal framework, the infrastructure is there, so that a fintech can thrive, a fintech can innovate, products can be new products can come into place. One thing I want to talk about today is you might have heard of the term digital public infrastructure. It's a new way of thinking for government. It's a new way of doing digital. Say, for instance, one of the fintechs here today, Kacha, Lucky Pay, and Smile Pay, they want to do everything, all their infrastructure needs themselves. That includes having access to their own telco services, generating their own electricity, using their own delivery ecosystem to deliver packages, using their own. We have streets out there that are built by a government, but it's shared by everyone. So we use physical infrastructure today, and we share it widely. At the digital level, we also have to think in the same manner. That's to say, we need to have more shared services. If a fintech wants to build a product, they don't have to do the entire vertical. There should be layers that they can consume and use. So that kind of digital public infrastructure thinking is being well implemented in Ethiopia. It's our digital Ethiopia transformation, digital economy. Our strategies are all based on this thinking. So back to myself, my name is Yodahe. I'm the executive director of the Ethiopian National ID program. I also serve as a deputy director general for Information Network Security Administration. So what do we do at FIDA? We call the platform, the product FIDA, the identity platform. Eva mentioned earlier on the video that we're co-developing a mobile application for social account opening together with Visa. But what's our product, essentially? I mentioned earlier DPI. DPI means government should be the thinker, not the doer. We should let the private sector be the doer and the innovator. So our products here are infrastructure. ID as an infrastructure, identity as an infrastructure. So the number one product of our initiative is KYC, Know Your Customer. KYC, you guys know it better. Visa, Yared mentioned, essentially was a fintech which was established 65 years ago. So KYC is important for the financial ecosystem. Less so for opening a bank account, more so for access to credit, access to trusted financial products and services. So our number one product is KYC. We offer real-time KYC, which means when you log into your mobile banking application, when you go to a bank teller or to an agent and claim that you are who you claim to be, that's a real-time KYC infrastructure that we provide. We also provide single sign-on as a product. OpenID. You log into a certain website, you can log in with Gmail, log in with Facebook options. So that SSO OpenID as an infrastructure now is gaining traction, and that's one product that we're offering. That is, you will have an option on your e-commerce website, on your fintech portal, on your mobile app, where there is a button that says login with FIDA. And that identity is officially endorsed, officially recognized by an authority, an ID authority, that says that person, Mrs. X is Mrs. X. We take that liability on us, so you can offer her trusted services. So those are our two important services. So obviously it goes a long way in supporting financial inclusion. Financial inclusion is not simply opening a bank account or becoming banked. There are, what was the term? It's called underbanked people who do not necessarily have, the service provider does not fully trust them to give them credit services. So for financial inclusion, it's a very important tool. Both the service provider will have enough trust to provide all their product offerings. That's one of our biggest value propositions. It's a trust framework, essentially. So that's what we provide. I'm very excited about today's for entities. I was asking Jared, to get an insider scoop, who is the most likely to be number one? He said, the fact that they are all here, they are all winners, because they went through a very rigorous process. It was out of 200 applicants. There we have now 4. We're very excited to see all 4 of these. They're out there. They're very popular, and they're out in the airwaves making their products known. I'm also a user of some of these products, so I'm very happy to see. I was mentioning digital public infrastructure. Innovation thrives in competition. That's the reason why governments should focus on policy, framework, specification, and protocols. One very good protocol that is always mentioned in DPI is we have lots of protocols. Internet works through a protocol, right? Email works with a protocol. SMTP is an email protocol that was developed some 20-something, 30 years back. But today we still use it. We still use email protocols to exchange emails. I don't need to sign an MOU to send an email with another email service provider, right? Because of what? Because of an existing protocol. Protocols are languages where systems can interact with each other. So government should be the one, should provide these protocols. Academia, government should provide the framework where everyone can interact. Meanwhile, the private sector, which is born in the middle of innovation, which thrives in innovation, should be the one doing the actual work, the implementation, the innovative products, the product innovation, the market innovation, etc., should come from the private sector. And today we're here to help a few of these products get the necessary support they can get from this Visa Everywhere initiative. So I'm very happy to be part of this second round of Visa Everywhere initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was to Yodahe Zamikail, Executive Director of the Ethiopian National ID Program. Thank you so much for being here to open us with your remarks. And he didn't do any introductions, any commercials per se about what he does. The National ID Program has already started registering people. So if you want to have your national ID, I must say you must register, because someday we're going to have to suffer to line up and register. And all commercial bank branches, to what I know, are doing the registration. It's very quick and very fast and very easy to do the registration. Probably takes like 7 minutes, and it's really, really neat. So you must do that, and I hope you're going to tip me for that, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so today Visa will award $50,000 to the top incredibly talented Ethiopian entrepreneurs in fintech. First place prize will be $25,000, and second place will be $15,000, and third place will be $10,000. And I cannot wait to see what the amazing stuff they have for us. As Toyoda mentioned, they are already in the market in some way, but not necessarily all of us know them and know the details of their work. Originally, we had five finalists finalists to present their pitches, fintech solutions today with us, but one had to drop out for a number of reasons. So we have 4 startups to showcase their works here today with us in 4 minutes each. So they're going to be really pressed for time. And one judge at the end of each presentation will have a chance to ask a question or two, and maybe one from Visa. And then our distinguished panel of judges will have their challenging task of selecting the deserving winners, as you know, and we wish them all the best in doing that. Visa has selected an impressive cohort of startups and fintechs who are all doing groundbreaking work. And as Twawiyodahe mentioned, again, all of them are winners, but again, we have to have 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be a very tough competition. So now I will share with you the key selection criteria the judges will be using to select the winner, and then we will get to it. So criteria number 1 is solution and pitch presentation. Number 2 is Visa partnership opportunities. Number 3 is desirability and uniqueness. And finally, number 4 is feasibility of the product or the solution. Once all 4 startups have delivered their presentations, the judges will be excused to the back room here to do their deliberations, to select and agree on the winners. And in the meantime, we will have a quick panel discussion with some of the brightest in the industry in Ethiopia. Now, let me introduce our esteemed panel of judges and invite them to assume their seats up front here. Starting with Abbay Sime, Director, Customer Acquisition, Bank of Abyssinia. Please welcome him to the front seat. I say, please welcome him, and you ignore me. Now, these people took time out of their busy schedules to do this for us, so we are really grateful. Ibrahim Mama, Country Coordinator for UNCDF, that is the UN Capital Development Fund. Please welcome Ibrahim. And then we have Megan Rabi, Senior Director, FinTech Account Management for Visa, Sub-Saharan Africa Office. Please welcome Megan. And Solomon Damto, Director of Payment Services at the National Bank of Ethiopia. Please welcome Solomon. And of course, finally, we have Yared Ndale, Country Manager for Visa Ethiopia. So, thank you all judges once again for taking time out of your busy schedules to do this for Visa. And dear pitchers, are you there? All right. So, you all have 4 minutes each, and you have your monitor there. Make sure you stick to that time slotted for you, and keep it short and sweet and impressive. Sell it, in other words. And please use the comfort monitors as you do your presentations, so we have a good eye-to-eye contact. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's get to number 1 startup. That is Kacha. Kacha is a private payment issuer in Ethiopia providing services such as micro-saving, P2P transfers, microcredit, micro-insurance, pension product, and bill payments, and buy now and pay later services. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Abraham Tilahun from Kacha to the stage.
Good morning. Imagine a future whereby financial access knows no boundaries. Every device, be it smartphone or basic feature phone, has become a gateway to empower financially individuals and businesses. Good morning. My name is Abraham Tilahun. I am CEO of Kacha. We have identified 3 problems in the Ethiopian financial landscape. The first one is the low financial inclusion rate. Only 46% of the adult population have formal bank accounts, and of which less than 1% has access to credit. And the second one is lack of innovation in payments. Our economy is cash-based economy. Most payments are made via cash. And the third one is limited access of loan for SMEs, because the conventional way of providing loan is totally collateral-based, and this is not affordable by most of the SMEs. Kacha is the first private mobile money service provider. Licensed and regulated by the Central Bank of Ethiopia, and our license is very broad. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you Fatia. Fatia is a widow mother of 2, and she's a breadwinner for her family. She has a FMCG retail store. She always faces the following problems. She lacks working capital to restock her store, and she has market outreach limits and also inconsistent service. So what we come up as Kacha is we have come up with a product called digital supply chain financing. In this digital supply chain financing, there are 4 parties. The one is the FMCG company who provides the products, and our partner banks who provides the loanable fund, and the third one is Kacha, who provides the digital lending management system and the credit scoring engine, and the retailers like Fatia. So this is end-to-end digitally from the application till the repayment and delivery of goods to Fatias and the SMEs. To the SMEs retail premises. This is the opportunities. Ethiopia is the second most populous country with a greater rate of smartphone penetration and a median age of 19. So if we leverage on technology, we can address a lot of the financial bottlenecks in the SME businesses. We want to partnership with Visa because, Visa is a world-class payment company. It will give us, credibility on our existing brand. So, and also we need a couple of APIs. One is the Visa Direct API. We want to our merchants to accept, like Matia, to accept Visa cards, and also we want to create virtual Visa cards on our Kacha wallet. And also we need the CyberSource hosted tech API. The competitive landscape is, we are in between the 2 big telcos, but we focused on the niche market. And our business model is, of course, transaction-based revenue sharing modality. And our vision with Visa is we need to empower millions like Fatia, in our merchants. We are planning to have 300,000 by 2025. We want all those merchants to accept Visa, and we want strategic partnership with many other aspects as well with Visa. When we claim to unlock possibilities and make Visa everywhere, it's backed by purpose. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Abraham. So let's get to the question part now. We have 2 questions that will be coming first from Yared from Visa, and then another one from one of our independent judges. Yared, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Abraham. That's great. And one question that I have is, what is the very challenge that you have faced when you started this business and fintech that you can highlight, and how you sort it out?
Thank you very much. It's a very important question. Starting a startup, especially on fintech, is challenging. Especially the most challenging thing is still the awareness. The digital literacy awareness level is still low. After you have finalized all the preparation, after you have come up with the necessary technologies and business modalities, awareness is there a challenge, and we are working with all the partners to address this issue.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. Supply chain finance is known across Africa to be very expensive. And when we look at the context of margins are thin. So now, in terms of your product offering and your partnership with the consumers, how do you plan to educate them to make sure that as they use these products, they understand the true impact to the margin and the impact to the business, so that there's a win-win for all parties and the end consumer at the end of the day? Thank you.
We work with partners, as I've tried to say earlier. We work with the giant players in the field, as well as we have our own programs in the public medias, and also we have, we use our social medias to teach, to create awareness.
All right, so one more round of applause for Abraham, and that'll be it. Thank you so much, Abraham, and wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much.
So in the interest of time, we're going to keep it to 4 minutes both for the presentation and the Q&A. Otherwise, these things can just go on and on with so much each one of them could say. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to see startup number 2? Are you ready? Yes. All right. So, thank you. Startup number 2 is Lucky Pay, a social media payment gateway and hardware-free soft MPOS. Some of these things I don't understand and I cannot even say. And that is designed specifically for the Ethiopian market. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Habtamu Taddese from Lucky Pay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Habtamu. I am the founder of Lucky Pay. I'm just going to give you a little overview about the Ethiopian market. Ethiopia has the second biggest population in Africa, with 120 million people, and more than 47 million people have subscribers or phones, and we don't have enough POS machines across the country. And the mobile money market share stands around 70%, and only 250 people have access to finance. So the problem with old school POS machine, it's very expensive. It costs banks up to $1,000 to import this gadgets and supply to MSMEs for free. And imagine that the country is suffering from forex shortage, and it's barely used and has inefficient troubleshooting support. So meet Shamsu, the owner of a small convenience store, whom I used to know about 20 years ago, where I used to live in Asaris. Almost all payments are done with cash, no control over his business, and he has no access to finance. And he doesn't have any digital record of his transactions. So I left the country and came back 14 years later, and the only change is the gray hair on his head. And the solution is Lucky Pay. So Lucky Pay is a soft POS system, which means you don't need any hardware. All they have to do is print a QR code, or if they have a smartphone, download it on their application and be able to accept digital payments. There's also a payment gateway, so now Shamsu can accept payments online and has instant loan, so he can lend money from his family members and friends. There's also social media, so he stay connected with his employees at all times, video call, chat, and call functionality. It's also a marketplace like Shopify, so now he has online presence and he can access more customers. Our business model, we charge 2.75% transaction fee. We monetize data, and we also collect referral fees. So we already registered 2,700 merchants, and we know there are more than 700,000 MSMEs in the capital and millions across the country. So luckily, Shamsu had a smartphone, so all he had to do was download our application, register within minutes, and be able to accept digital payment. And it has built-in free inventory system to allow him to run his business smoothly and provide some AI-backed analytics and forecast. Shamsu, after Lucky Pay was introduced, he was able to receive a loan because now he has bank statement that he can show to banks, and now he runs a bigger store, and his income increased 3 times because now people don't have to worry about how much cash they have in their pocket. And he hired people to run his business so he can spend more time with his family. These are our partners. We partnered with one of the biggest private banks in Ethiopia, and we linked CyberSource through them. We also partnered with the National ID for eKYC, and we also partnered with ET-Switch for cross-bank transactions. We also partnered with the Hotels Association, giving us access to 2,500 hotels in the country. So our partnership request is on 2 products specifically. One is CyberSource. The second one is Visa Direct. Also, all businesses can have access to the global market and give clients access to services and goods across the globe, and people like Shamsu can get paid faster and conduct a secure transaction. Together with Visa, we can bring people like Shamsu to join financial inclusion by providing them with access to digital financial services that are secure, convenient, and affordable. And there's no better partner than Visa. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Habtamu, for that presentation. And we're going to get to the question session. We're hoping Abbai will ask the first question because they are already partners and Abbai is representing the bank. So shall we? Yes.
Thank you. Nice presentation. My question for you is, what is your go-to-market strategy, especially for addressing the diaspora, so that Shamsu can accept international payments? Because I understand that this requires a lot of effort to create awareness and finally effect the payment. And that's the first one. The second one is payments in our country is largely recognized for free services. The bank's competition has created that kind of situation in our country. So you apply certain service charges on your services, and how do you see the challenge would be while you go to the market? Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. I'm going to start with your second question. I think the fact that the money is the devaluation rate is forcing people to actually not want to carry cash. About a year ago, people can do a lot of things with 10,000 birr, right? Nowadays, you cannot do 100,000. So now it's all about the question of convenience. That's one. Two, security. So now people like Shamsu, they had no hope in the past, right? They don't have access to finance. But now, since they know that they're going to get a loan, if they were to go digital and be able to show the transactions and the fact that they're making a difference, is going to be one of the biggest benefit for the MSMEs to be able to accept our payment platform. In terms of the go-to-market strategy, we partner with your bank, obviously, so they can allow, he can accept internationally issued payments, and especially the diaspora. So what we have done into the system is that now people can pay bills from abroad. So the diaspora have access to that. Another area which I didn't mention is we partner with the Hotels Association, giving us 2,500 members. So now people coming from the diaspora, they don't know about our product. So they cannot download before they come to Ethiopia. But now what they do is all they have to do is just scan our QR code, and they'll be redirected to the hosted checkout page where they enter their Visa card information, and they'll be able to pay that. So these are the areas where we are focusing for the go-to-market strategy.
Please.
Okay, thank you, Abtam, for your excellent presentation. So my question is regarding with the attitude. So as you know that most of small shop owners are illiterate, and they may not have a good understanding of the products and the digital payment system as well. And what's your plan and strategy to create such kind of trust? You see, so the payment system, the platform, needs to have trusted by both the merchant and the payer, so that how you are going to provide a solution for such kind of challenge? Thank you.
Perfect. It's also a great question. So what we have done is make a partnership agreement with local chamber of commerce in different parts of the country. So usually what they do is they invite all these business owners, especially the MSMEs, and we provide them with training. So they provide them training with digital awareness, capacity building, and so on. And we come in and we show them what can be done. And at the same time, what we do is we use startups that went through our product, they used it and they became successful. So we let them do the talking on behalf of ours, because we don't want to look focusing more on our product. So we let the startups do the talking on behalf of us.
Okay, maybe one more. If maybe Ibrahim has a question so far, you haven't asked him.
Yes, thank you, Taye, and thank you, Abtamu, for that wonderful presentation. Roughly, what do you think is going to be the major challenge in adopting, like at Shamsu's stage? Literacy is one of them, but what else do you think is going to be the major resistance in adopting a QR code-based payment platform?
Sure. So I think the biggest challenge is going to be access to digital smartphones or POS machines. So what we do is we encourage them to start with the QR code, and then we partner with the giant telco companies to provide them with smartphones based on they pay later. So they buy it now, but they pay later. So that's what we're doing right now, and it's been fruitful so far.
Thank you.
All right, so our Q&A time is up, and I think we've already had good questions for him. Thank you so much, and best of luck. Huh? All right, now let's go to the third startup, ladies and gentlemen. That is Giuliano Venziani from Kanna. Kanna is a financial technology company that provides a cloud-based platform for banks to offer digital lending services to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Without further ado, please welcome Giuliano to the stage.
Hello everyone, my name is Giuliano Veneziani. I'm the General Manager of Kanna, Ethiopia's first AI-based alternative credit scoring and digital lending platform, with a vision of sparking a world where financial barriers could no longer be a restraint to the potential growth of MSMEs and individuals. In Ethiopia, the credit gap currently is more than $6 trillion. Of which more than 80% is attributable to MSMEs. On the flip side, we do have more than 3 million MSMEs, more than 16 million smallholder farmers, and 12 million informal workers. Currently, it's reported that only 50% of households have been reported borrowing from financial institutions. All this is due to lack of track record and lack of collateral to be pledged to financial institutions. Let's meet Yeshi. Yeshi is a roadside coffee vendor that needs only $100 to install a shelter for her stall and expand her business. Unfortunately, Yeshi couldn't do so because of lack of track record and lack of collateral. The other one is Mohammed. Mohammed is a vigilant carpenter that only needs $50 to upgrade his carpentry tools and expand his business. Likewise, Mohammed couldn't do so because of lack of track record and his inability to pledge a collateral to financial institution. Here comes Kanna, our solution. Kanna enables financial institutions to extend loan to the unserved and underserved community without the need for collateral. On top of that, it enables companies like gig platforms to embed finance to their end customers. What's expected from customers like Yeshi and Mohammed is simply download the app, furnish their KYC, then they'll be offered certain product categories. They will select the product. At the back, the credit scoring engine will do the magic. Then they'll be given an offer. Once selected, it's a boom. Automatically, they can pursue their dream within a fraction of like 2 minutes. So far, our collaboration with the first partner bank, Cooperative Bank of Oromia, has resulted in a loan of more than $22 million, reaching more than 110,000 MSMEs, of which 75% are youth, 35% are women, and 10% are vulnerable, including internally displaced individuals. As of today, we have on board the 6 major bankers. The total share of the market we have envisaged to reach is like more than up to 25 to 30%. Our business model is profit sharing model. So on the way forward to advance access to finance, we want to leverage Visa's infrastructure and expertise, specifically its credentials and payment rails. And we have devised 3 solutions. The first one is digitalization of MSME, where we have planned to disperse the loan directly to carders. The second one is a buy now pay later product leveraging Visa 6.7 million cards, and the third one is a tailor-made product similar to the above, catered specifically to diasporas who are craving to pay for the loved ones' home. By this collaboration, we have planned to reach more than 6 million MSMEs and individuals within 5 years' time. Welcome to the world of Kanna, where financial barriers could no longer be a restraint to the growth of MSMEs and individuals. Thank you very much.
So what's going on there? You got a lot of friends in there? Okay, now thank you, Giuliano, for that wonderful presentation. Now let's head to the judges for the questions. I think pretty much anybody can start, actually. All right, Megan.
Great, thank you very much.
Could you pull the mic closer? So, yes.
There we go. Thank you very much. So on the 22 million dispersed already, what are the key lessons that you've learned in that, specifically relating to non-performing loan metrics? And from those lessons learned, how do you think that you can make sure that we grow with a portfolio that's sustainable in the future?
Thank you, Megan, for the question. We have, the big lesson we have learned is most of MSMEs, especially in Ethiopian context, have the capacity to repay. The main basic problem they do have is the gap in finance. They lack access to finance, but they do have the capability to roll the money and pay back. Surprisingly, our finding shows that they expect loan return, for example, 30 days. More than 80% of the repayment has been paid on 21 days period. And our NPL, overall NPL rate is encouraging so far. Even without doing customer probing and other collection management practices, we have seen a very, very commendable rate. So that's the learning.
Please, I think both of you.
Thank you, Julian, for the presentation. Just, I want to know the assessment from your side on the data privacy reality in Ethiopia currently. This is my first. And what's the strategy that you have to overcome this issue? The other is on the pricing. So you are presented that you are going with the revenue sharing model.
Sure.
So that most of the SMEs, you know that this market is very niche market. So how that will challenge you to sustain as a business, because the revenue that is generated from these businesses, I imagine that it may not be promising at this moment, but how you are going to be sustained in this market? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salamo. Nice question. The first one, our company follows a stringent data protection policy. Even though not enacted yet formally in Ethiopian context, we have followed global data encryption, data transmission, data encoding, and other relevant protocols to the extent possible. Now, we believe that we are compliant to the extent to currently European data protection rule. We have extended ourselves to that level. The other thing, regarding the second question, the business model, to your surprise, we have invested a lot, even back 4 years back, to research to conduct our research. And we have devised tailor-made framework products. While developing the products as part of the product co-creation, pricing is a subset. So we do have a business model to bring a value proposition that's acceptable to end customers, specifically MSMEs. So our collaborators, like partner bankers, will assist them in devising a pricing model as well. So we'll make sure that there will not be additional pain point to MSMEs and other underserved and unserved market. We'll make sure that it is a win-win for all parties involved, especially those unserved and underserved. We have to resolve that problem. We should not add another pain point. So all our solution is a win-win for the partner bank, for us as well. And as you know, the market is totally untapped. I've said more than $6 trillion and more than 27 million craving for access to finance. So in any way, we'll make a reasonable share of the cake. Thank you.
A quick one. Yeah, so one of the challenges that we have is the availability of data, especially when you are going down to those MSMEs, right?
Yeah.
So your product is mainly on, evaluating or, scoring the credit worthiness of, an individual. So I'm sure that is a challenge. So
Sure.
how are you tackling that? And what is the future you are planning to, in regards to tackling that for it to be much viable?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Yarid. Data has been a problem in Ethiopia. When you start Kanna, the concept, maybe back 7 years back, the concept. Initially, we have been wondering, where could we get the data? There is no data. So we have tried our best to get whatever data we can get. So we have utilized whatever available data in our model. We have used our model using predominantly MSME data. Our credit scoring engine has passed through more than like 870 MSME data. All is PI excluded without personally identified information. And on top of that, we have used utility data and other psychometry data on top of that. And we have used also triangulation technique and to determine on proxy basis as well, given lack of data in Ethiopian context. On the way forward, we believe that these problems will be alleviated as we have started to see a blink of light, like national ID and other infrastructures on the way forward will show up. So we are like hopeful these things will be resolved, but we have accumulated our own data expertise to the extent confidently determined creditworthiness of MSMEs and individuals at a confidence level of currently more than 94.3%.
Thank you, Giuliano. A round of applause for Giuliano, please. And
thank you all.
Best of luck. All right, best of luck. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the final and the fourth startup to come and present on SmilePay. So SmilePay is a peer-to-bank mobile application that helps diaspora send money home, buy airtime, or pay bills for their families and friends in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mulukan Bakala from SmilePay.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Mulukan Mangasha, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of SmilePay. In 2016, I was a college student at the Africa Leadership University in the beautiful island of Mauritius. Like most of my peers, I was a pro college student. So one day I asked my sister, which lives in the US, to send me $100. And however, I received only $80. $20 was a transaction fee, which is very expensive. So I started doing research, alternative ways of receiving money. Then that is when I realized it cost more than 8.1% to send money to Africa. And compared to the global average, which is 6.5, it makes the Africa remittance corridor very expensive. And the second problem is lack of control for the senders. We did 100 surveys in Washington, D.C., and one thing we found out is Ethiopian diasporas in America, they send money for their family member for the purpose of college fees, electric, Wi-Fi, and the people receiving the money in Ethiopia misuse the fund for buying shoes or whatever. So that is when we decided to build SmilePay. So SmilePay is a peer-to-bank mobile application that helps African diasporas to send money, buy airtime, and pay utility bills such as electric, water for their families and friends in Ethiopia affordably and instantly. And I'm gonna go through our product quickly. So this is the sender side. Through the sender side in America, people download the application. And number one, after downloading the application, they go through the KYC email, which only takes 2 minutes. And then they connect their debit or credit card into they top up dollar. And then after that, just by putting the recipient address's bank account, in this case, we have partnered with Abyssinia Bank. So just by putting the recipient's Bank of Abyssinia account number, they will be able to send money instantly. One thing they can also do, they will be able to buy airtime and pay for electric and water bills for their friends and family in Ethiopia. From the Ethiopian side, you guys can download the SmilePay application and you'll be able to request money. And if you don't have a bank account, you'll be able to create bank account remotely. And the third thing that you can do is you can forward your bill payment to your family and friend so that they can pay it. And also, once they make the electric or water bill payment, you can automate it so you don't have to ask them again. Every month, it will just deduct it from the sender's account. So our revenue model is simple. We charge 0.1% up to 3%. And number two, we earn 5% of margin for every airtime that we sell. And number three, we charge $1 for every electric and water bill payment. This is our partner. Abyssinia Bank is our partner. The Rush API is an API that allows us to access electric and water data from Ethiopia. Socialtel allows us to sell Ethio Telecom and Safaricom airtime. So we want to partner with Visa. We want to partner with Visa for three main purposes. Number one, CyberSource. We have already integrated CyberSource, and the benefits of using CyberSource is it allows us to accept payments securely, and then it will help us expand to different parts of the world. And the second one is virtual card. Currently in Ethiopia, for individuals and startups, it's very difficult to make payments for services such as Netflix, Twilio, AWS. What you do right now is you ask your family member to send a picture of their credit card, which is risky. Or you have to send them your Netflix username and password, and they'll have to log in and then pay it for you. But through this, you don't have to do that. You just download the SmilePay application, you receive the dollar, you top up your virtual card, and then you just make the payment for Netflix, Twilio, and AWS. And the third one is down on the line, we want to build the SmilePay debit card. The SmilePay debit card will allow our users to spend the amount of money that they have on the SmilePay to spend it globally and locally through POS machines and ATM withdrawals. Together, we can make remittance affordable and frictionless for Africans. We can increase the foreign currency inflow to Africa, and together we can create financial inclusion. Please scan the QR code to download our application and be part of our closed trial. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mulugan. It's really encouraging to see our young people so efficiently doing amazing things. Now, let's hear questions. We go to Ibrahim first.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Taye. Thank you, Mulugan, for the presentation. Two quick questions. First one is, one of the biggest issues with cross-border payment is integration with multiple platforms and interoperability. So how are you foreseeing addressing that? Secondly, what's your traction so far? Where are you guys?
Okay, for the more question, right now we have integrated with Bank of Abyssinia locally to receive peer-to-bank to Abyssinia, and we're in the process of integrating with 5 more banks. And in terms of traction, we just launched it 2 weeks ago. Right now, we are doing a closed transaction of, we have a closed transaction of 1,000 people sending money. So right now, for the next 1 month, we're going to keep that traction, and we're going to raise pre-seed funding very soon.
Yes. Okay. Quickly, both of you could go. So let's start here.
Okay, thank you, Mulugan. Nice presentation, and I hope this will disrupt, the digital remittance platforms so far known. And my question is, our diaspora is used to, consume mainly MTOs, and how do you really going to address that and change their behavior so that they can be able to, depend on your platform and enjoy all these use cases? Thank you.
Great question. So, there's the black market. We are not trying to solve the black market. The only person that can solve that is the government. So, according to CVS Capital, in 2021, $5.2 billion was sent through remittance. That is an average of people are paying 8.1%. Through us, it's less than 3%, which match the SDG, United Nations SDG goal, SDG 10 goal, which is minimizing remittance less than 3% by 2023. So that is why, and through our application, they will be able to pay cross-border electric, water bill payments, such as, and we're going to keep integrating Canal Plus, DSTV, and various types of services. So yeah, that is how we're planning to do it.
So, please.
Okay, good, Mulugan. Nice presentation. So my question is from the legal perspective. So how do you see that the current licensing regime entertains you, and how you see in which platform that we are? Just see you from the peso point of view or from the PI point of view. So how do you see this regulatory regime for your program?
Great question. So regarding remittance license, if you are in Ethiopia, you just have to partner with a bank. There is no separate remittance license. But one thing we have been facing is in America, in Canada, all these places, you have to have a license. For example, America, you have to get a license in every state, which is a total of like $5-something million. That's why currently we could have launched if we had the license officially, but that's why we're doing a closed transaction so that we can raise pre-seed and seed funding so that we can get this license and then operate officially.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, you are also operating in Ethiopia, right? So I mean, you process the transactions for Ethiopia, right?
So in Ethiopia, it's going to be directly sent to our application in America. They download it. They send it directly to the banks. So the application you download here is just requesting money from here. Just you write your Abyssinia bank account in you write $50 and be like, I'm short on something, can you send me? And that person can send you the money, or they can refuse saying, I'm sorry, I can't, and you'll receive it on the notification.
Nice. Yeah. I like the account option. One more? Maybe a quick one?
Just a quick one on your marketing strategy. So you're in a closed pilot. How are you going to get massive scale in the future? Talk to us about that, please.
So our marketing strategy is our main users are going to be in America. So one thing we realized in Washington, D.C. is we went to this Habesha restaurants, supermarkets, and like clubs. I didn't see any remittance posters. There's nothing. And also to do it in social media targeting, you won't be able to directly get them. So what we're gonna do is like a door-to-door marketing into Habesha neighborhoods, Habeshan restaurants, and just put our poster, QR code, and then do this type of things to acquire customers in that side.
Mm-hmm. There's 30 seconds, so I have a question.
For sure.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So why only America? You keep saying America, but do you extend your services to others, like say in Europe or other countries?
Oh, definitely. We're going to expand to Europe. We're going to expand to UK, Canada. The reason we want to focus on America is based on our research, majority of the Ethiopians diasporas are based in America. And then, for example, when you see Kenya, you see a lot of remittance in UK. But for us, for some reason, we love America, so we keep going there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And good luck. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's excuse the judges to head out to the back room, and Eric will be escorting them. And then we will get to the next session while they do their deliberations. So, good luck in sorting that out. It's not going to be easy. While they are doing their deliberations, I'm going to introduce our panel and moderator, and Team Flawless will set up the seats here for my panel. So the panelists will discuss Ethiopia's fintech landscape for about 30 minutes, and they will be touching on everything fintech, from partnerships to competitions to source of funds and so much more. And the discussion will be moderated for us by James Ashton Smith, head of fintech outreach in Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa in the digital partnership and venture team at Visa. James, would you please assume your seat if it's ready? But you could give me a second. And then I'll introduce the panelists. So our three top-notch panelists will bring many, many years of expertise in the sector, starting with Addis Almayo right there to my left, chairman of Kazana Group, and Munir Duri, CEO of Kafiya Financial Technologies, right there on the same table. And we also have one of the youngest and the brightest in the industry, Nail Hailemariam, founder and CEO of Chapa. In a moment, they will come up here and assume their seats, and we'll get to the panel. Wonderful. Thank you, Flawless, for always creating amazing events. Can we celebrate Flawless for such a beautiful setup? I think it's really outstanding. Thank you so much. So without further ado, James, the floor is yours. And distinguished panelists, if you could please assume your seats.
Outreach programs that we run here at Visa, and this really allows us to connect with some of the earlier stage startups across the ecosystem. The Visa Everywhere initiative, as you've heard from some of our speakers, today has been running since 2016 and has reached over 12,000 startups across the globe in over 100 countries. And of those startups, they've collectively raised around 16 billion worth of funding. So it's a fantastic platform and a global stage for the fintechs. And I certainly do not envy the judges now who have got to go away and deliberate and choose those winners after the fantastic pitches. So to bring us now to the panel discussion, and I'm joined here by my esteemed guests here. So first of all, thank you very much for joining us and spending your time and giving us your insights as well. So as we've heard, the Ethiopia economy continues to grow and become ever more connected, and this presents some fantastic opportunities for the fintechs in this region. The industry really has an opportunity to address some significant challenges, and we've seen some of those addressed today with things like access to the underserved who cannot access financial services or capital as well. So one of the key things that fintechs often have to rely on is the ability to partnership with significant players in the industry, whether that's banks, MNOs, and the likes. So first, I'll address the first question to Niall, if I may. So Niall, obviously, first of all, congratulations. You're a relatively new startup, but still significant traction in the market so far, reaching around 3 billion in volume processing in about eight months. So as a payment gateway enabler, your kind of core customers are the businesses, and they rely on you to generate or set up partnerships with these key players in the industry, such as the banks, financial services. So could you give us some insights on how you approach those conversations?
Thank you, James. And it's wonderful to be here with industry leaders in the ecosystem as a panelist. So as Chapa, we basically see a value proposition with whomever we work with. So what we give and what we actually get back from that entity. So let's classify it into 4 segments. For the first one, it's with merchants, right? So we first understand their pain points and how we can be able to solve it. So as Chapa, we basically enable businesses to receive online payments from anyone and anywhere in the world. As an example, there is one customer of ours called Qaddamt Coffee. So they were very limited to sell their coffee to people who actually came to their store only. So once they actually built their e-commerce site and did the integration with Chapa, so now they can be able to receive basically online payments from anyone and anywhere in the world. So that's with merchants. And when we see with banks, basically one is creating conveniency and the other is increasing their deposit. So let's see it in 2 ways. One is for their customers who are actually individuals, right? So for the individuals, we basically enable them to pay to anyone, to any merchant. And for their customers who are merchants, we basically enable them to accept online payments from anyone as well. So that's for banks. And for the mobile network operators or MNOs, so one is they actually don't have to do the integration with merchants, since there is Chapa as an aggregator in the middle to basically enable them to do the integration. And the second one is they also don't have to do a KYC for merchants, because we can be able to do that. So as a merchant, without actually having a MNO's wallet, they can be able to receive payments from those customers with MNO's customers, right? So that's why. And I think the first one is for other fintechs. So we basically work together to elevate the fintech ecosystem in Ethiopia. So that's basically how we work with all those 4 segments.
Thank you very much. And just to kind of follow on from that, as you mentioned, you're a fintech and you are growing and you're looking to build out your own customer base. So how do you as a fintech balance cooperation with competition with these key players? And how do you see that kind of from their angle as well?
That's a very good question. So there's actually an association that's called the Ethiopian Digital Financial Service Providers Association, which was established by banks, fintechs, insurance, and also like other entities. So we basically all came together to work on how to improve the financial inclusion while having the vision direct to the digital Ethiopia 2025. So we do have some around 4 key pillars. I think 3 key pillars. So one is through collaboration and networking, and the other one is through the capacity building and learning, and the third one is through the policy advocacy and lobbying. So we basically all came together to do all these things to create a very good foundation for basically financial inclusion in Ethiopia that actually supports everyone in the industry.
Thank you. So Munir, I'll move across to you now from Kifia, and I'd love to hear your view as well from a fintech perspective. So can you provide some insights into some of the challenges that you face in fostering those successful cooperations?
Thank you for your question, James. I think, when you think about the Ethiopian ecosystem, we are at a very infant stage. I think there's a very interesting market. There's a lot of things happening, but if you look at the core of it, we are still very infant to talk about competition in any form or way. I think the stage we are in at the moment is where a lot of, whether you want to call it startup at different stages of the life cycle of a fintech, it's a really startup phase. So the challenges really sit around how do you fund those companies. I think the biggest challenge is how do you fund those startups? How do you get those startups into the market? The second challenge is how do you differentiate and enable those startups? Somebody was telling me yesterday she is fed up of hearing a lot of fluff from Ethiopia. So I apologize on behalf of Ethiopia, but how do you differentiate? And that's the lack of this ecosystem, the incubators, the accelerators that enable those young people to bring value that is of substantive nature. So the challenge sits around, we don't have incubators and accelerators. We have more working space setups. So we really need those things to start looking at enablers that bring beyond the stories of marketing. The third thing is talent. No matter what you think, there's very little talent in the market at the moment. And even the little talent that exists in Ethiopia, outsourcing is taking it over because they have better pay, less interesting working hours for the students. So if you look at the key parts, I think it's not competition or competition that exists in the market. It's really about where are those risk capital providers? How do you differentiate and enable the companies? Where are those accelerators and incubators? And third, where do we generate the talent that is required to enable those companies?
No, thank you. I think as you touched on the talent piece, that's one of the key challenges in particular for this region, where we see brain drain essentially going out towards the North American countries, Europe and the Far East. But there is some traction being made in terms of retaining the talent in country. And I think, as you said, the development of certain centralized platforms will really help to keep the talent in the countries. So Addis, I'd like to kind of transition across to you as well now. So partnerships and challenges and frictions exist. There's no utopia of a partnership. So to help provide, I suppose, the kind of complete view of partnerships and the cooperative alignment, could you help detail what strategies could be put in place to kind of help mitigate or manage some of the conflicts of interest that we see between the partners?
I think it goes back to what Munir said. In all honesty, I think right now, it's a very, very early stage scene, whether it's fintech or any other tech in this country. And it's an exciting time to be here and present and and looking at what's going on. Because, I mean, I was here some, 20 something years ago when the first ATM machine popped up at the Sheraton. I have a picture with me hugging it. I've seen that, I've seen the evolution of the space for quite some time. I've been cashless in Addis for the last, I think, close to 6 months now. And nobody ever said it was possible, but I'm cashless for except maybe the parking lot change that I have in the car. But going to the question that you asked, there's already an association. There's already some sort of alliance within the infant sort of ecosystem. I think most of the startups, as well as the banks, realize that this market is just vast. It's 120 million people, and a lot of the numbers that you saw was just basic reaching folks that even don't have a bank account, that don't have any sort of financial services. So we're not, forget the competition. There's enough sort of pie for everybody. So I don't think the challenge is competition per se between us or folks on the ground or the ecosystem. I think it's more getting government to understand and move at a pace that the world is moving at. And I think that's happening. I think in the last 3 years, just the word digital economy and digital transformation and startup act and there's all of these things, all of these phrases has only happened in the last 3-4 years. We've been screaming for quite some time before that. The infrastructure is, vastly improved to the point where we have 5G now at ridiculous amount of speeds. So I think that question might be relevant for other sectors, but I don't think for this one. I mean, these guys are all friends, to be honest with you, because they know that everybody's eating and they'll keep eating for quite some time. That's where we are. Am I not looking at it?
And one of the pieces you're touching on, so as you mentioned, vast markets and a lot of potential, and bringing people into the financial ecosystem can be a challenge, but it's improving. How do you see financial education playing a key role within that, and what is being done to ensure that happens?
Financial education?
Education, yes.
Oh, man. I think, I think folks underestimate how smart people are when it comes to their financials. They just don't have the tools, whether it's way in the countryside and deep in places where there's no infrastructure, whether it's in the city or, the lady that's serving coffee on the street. People are smart, especially when they work hard for it. They know exactly what they want to do with the money. I think what's missing is the technology aspect of it, and the tools and the awareness. But in terms of, financial sort of literacy and being smart about it, I think can I tell us a small story just to highlight what I'm talking about? So there's a kid that washes my car outside the office. And one day I was talking to him. He's from the countryside. He's probably maybe 18, 19, and just having a chat with him. The kid washes cars. He has a small stand where he, cleans shoes. He has an ikub. Ikub is where, people, I think in Kenya they call it merry-go-round, whatever it is. He has an ikub where he puts, I think, 150, 200 birr a day, right? He has 3 of them. Honestly. He has several cows in the countryside that somebody's looking after for him. He's got some, onions or whatever he's growing again in the countryside. And then I did a quick number. This kid was worth about 600,000 to 700,000 birr. It's just because Munir hasn't reached out to him yet in terms of sort of the savings and the credit and all of that. He's already there. He just hasn't digitized it. So that's what I said, there's just so much work to do in terms of reaching out. But folks, especially folks on the ground, are some of the smartest, most innovative financial gurus you'll ever imagine. You can go to Mercato and they'll teach you a few things about, financial literacy.
No, a great demonstration of diversification in the assets and income as well. So the next topic I want to touch on is securing funds. So this isn't a unique challenge for Ethiopia. This is, one of the global challenges, particularly in recent years with the headwinds of sourcing funding for fintechs. So access to capital is a challenge, and often startups have to turn to external sources to receive that capital injection. So if I go Munir first on this one, so I'd like to first of all understand, because your organization has evolved over the last number of years, but in the early years, what kind of strategic, decisions have you looked at when it comes to funding, whether it's kind of capital from ventures, crowdfunding, bootstrapping, and what worked best for Kafia?
I think we are a very odd one out because we funded our businesses internally because we generate revenue from non-fintech businesses. But if you talk about Ethiopia specifically, the biggest challenge, as you said, and uniquely, I mean, we cannot compare it to the other parts of Africa. Even within Africa, I think Ethiopia is at the biggest disadvantage because we don't have any form of risk capital. Probably there are few angel investors coming up now, Addis and his company being one, but we don't have risk capital, full stop. So your funding comes from family and friends or debt. And if you look at debt, then you have to have collateral, which means you have some form of asset. And that does not qualify as a risk capital. So within the Ethiopian context, I think maybe perhaps in the coming years, as the foreign exchange regime changes of money flows coming in and out, we will see a significant change. But particularly for us, it is a choice that we made. Instead of investing in buildings, we are investing in tech.
Thank you. And then just a follow-on question, a little bit of a deviation, but just out of interest, obviously, as you said, you work with a number of fintechs, but are there any particular technologies that you are particularly excited to see in the Ethiopian market?
Just a little bit. So what excites me these days is really looking at the agricultural sector and the micro sector and thinking about what would make them access financial services. I mean, everything's exciting, right? Payments is exciting, remittance is exciting, but at the end of the day, the value within the Ethiopian economy is really looking at uplifting this 15, 20, 30 million people. And I really love alternative credit scoring and how to enable people that have no collateral, which is 90% of the Ethiopian population, access financial services of one sort or of another. It's challenging, but I think that's where I think Africa is heading. That's where Asia has headed towards. And that's what excites me these days.
It's certainly an interesting sector, and we had a quick discussion beforehand, and the ability to provide a file essentially on someone is fascinating. The way that now we can extract some of the data to really create that is really interesting. So yeah, I'd love to see that space evolve further. Addis, so from a funding perspective as well, we have a number of fintechs here today who are presenting. From a Kazana Group perspective, what top three things would you look for in an NC or a fintech before you would give them the checkbook, shall we say?
It's not just fintech, actually. It's in any investment that we do. It's obviously the team and the founders and their passion and their background and the commitment. That's not number one, obviously. Number two is obviously the market potential. So one of our investments in SmilePay, and that's the reason why I wasn't a judge. And we invested in it because the average utility bill in Ethiopia is about $11. And that's the kind of number that someone in the US or wherever, it's not a big deal to send $11 bill. When you're above $50, then you're looking at the black market. But when you're below that, it's a cup of coffee. So that's why we looked at and just the potential for it. There's about 5 million of us outside. Just Ethiopians, and then you count Senegalese and the other African markets. It's just a huge diaspora market. So that we look at the potential, we look at the team, and we look at the technology, and then we look at the makeup of the team. Because if you have 4 techies coming to pitch, and somebody needs to be a finance person, somebody needs to be a marketing person. They can't all be techies, right? So those are the sort of a mix of things that we look at when we're investing.
And do you provide any support for those that if you got a great, fantastic product, good potential, but there was a tech kind of bias on the board, would you help provide support or guide them on that next step?
Oh, I'm the first person they listen to in the morning, the last person they hear from at night. I'm on their case. No, I mean, at the end of the day, we want our money back because there's a ton of other opportunities out there, and there's not enough capital on the ground here. Nobody's doing any risk investment. But outside that, you want them to succeed, and you're there as their partner, you're there as their godfather, whatever it may be. So whether it's contacts in government, whether it's calling people at Bank of Abyssinia to make sure that they look at the deck, whatever it needs, you're there to nurture them to survive first and foremost, obviously, but also thrive. So whatever needs that, you're a partner, whether you like it or not.
Definitely, thank you. So Niall, from a Chapa perspective, so I understand you've enabled 2 platforms pro bono to government entities, and this was prior to receiving your kind of operator license from the central bank. Could you just give me some insight as to why you took that approach?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. As an Ethiopian, we all have a duty to actually support our country in times of need. And then we had to basically find pain points for the government on the reason of fragmented payments, which are like very scattered. So that's what we did. And then afterwards, we had to basically think about with whom to work with which bank, how to get an approval, all those things. So through all those processes, we basically developed 2 crowdfunding platforms prior of getting our license from the central bank. And we collected more than, I think, $7-8 million, which is not even part of this 8 months Chapa's traction. So that basically is something to also see there is a market need for that.
No, helpful, thank you. And to touch on the Digital Ethiopia 2025 initiative that a couple of people have talked about today, so could you just give a sense of, I suppose, the on-the-ground feeling, what the impact is, and are there any areas that you would say you could enhance to drive further impact?
The Digital 2025 strategy has really speed up the infrastructure in Ethiopia. And also you can recall about the Telebir deal, which actually mandated every fuel stations to be able to accept payments from that specific pay method. But now there are 2-3 more banks which are actually coming in. So the government is actually becoming more aggressive, and I have to say that actually becomes really crucial and very important to achieve the Digital 2025 strategy. So, for example, if you see it in the Kenyan case, in Kenya, the largest bank in Kenya, which is KCB, they basically took more than 120 years to achieve their first 2 million customers. Then M-Pesa came in, and in 2 years, they actually quadrupled that to 6 million. When they started their deposit and the credit trail on M-Pesa. And whereas when you see it in Ethiopia, the largest bank in Ethiopia, which is CBE, they basically took more than 80 years to achieve their first 38 million customers. And Telebir achieved that in 2 years. So, we can be able to understand the adoption of digital payments as well. Because the key pillars for the Digital Ethiopia 2025 are, one is the adoption of the national ID, and also the cyber security, the digital payments, e-commerce, and e-governance. Those are the 5 key pillars for the Digital Ethiopia 2025. And I think the government is pushing on the 3 key pillars, but a bit lagging on the e-commerce and cyber security. So I think to basically achieve this big Digital 2025 strategy, I think these are very critical to achieve. And if you see, for example, the number of people who got connected with cellular data network in 1 year, it's 10 million people. It's like the same as the population of Rwanda. And whereas if you see the number of people who are basically active on the internet users, right? Like 500,000 new people actually get connected to the internet last year to this year, which is like almost half the population of Djibouti. So I think, there is a big push from the government, and I appreciate that. So that's something that really is helpful to achieve the digital 2025 strategy.
Thank you. So last question before we we move on to the kind of final stage of the event. So Munir, I'll start with you. I give you the power to make one change to the ecosystem to really turbocharge fintechs in Ethiopia. And I'll ask the same question to everyone on the panel. What would that one change be?
Talent. Talent.
Addis, I'll come to you.
We need the Startup Act implemented ASAP, like yesterday.
And finally, Niall.
I could say a digital infrastructure.
Perfect. So 3 different answers, which I love. So hopefully we can all have the ability to implement those. But thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thank you again to the panel members. Your experience and expertise is much appreciated. And we'll hand over now to the final part of the show, which we're all waiting for. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Please, a round of applause to the panel and my moderator. Please, a round of applause to them. Good to see you, sir. Always. Yes, we're going to do a group photo. So can you please... yes, they will be removing the chairs. You'll be stepping forward. That's fine, yes. Good to see you.
That's right.
No, we don't need it. Please tell them to listen.
Yes, you can second. Can I ask all the 4 fintechs to come join this group photo? All 4 fintechs. That's Giuliano. Yes. Can somebody tell Giuliano to come have another picture with the judges, if they could come up on stage, and then, of course, the fintechs as well. But you want to have the judges alone first? So only judges first, and then the fintechs will join in a moment. Fintechs, do not go away, please. Solomon is coming, is she? So Solomon, if you could quickly join us. Only. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost there to let you know and announce the winners of this incredible journey. Okay. Okay, so he's having a private time, so we'll do it later on. So, with this, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the time where we announce. Now, the judges are back with the results, and God knows how difficult it was for them to identify the top three and then, of course, the overall winner for the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2023 Ethiopia Finals. And to help me announce the third place winner and give the prize, I kindly invite Kalkidan Fikadu, Business Development Manager at Visa Ethiopia, and Abai Sime, Director of Customer Acquisition, Bank of Abyssinia, to the stage. And organizers, if you could come up with the results. So, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we're going to find out who won third place in this incredible journey. And Kalkidan and Abai will, I think, jointly announce it. I don't know how they're going to do it.
This is second.
So the second runner-up.
Closer, please.
Okay. The second runner-up for VEI Ethiopia winner is Smile.
Smile Pay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Smile Pay gets to go home with $10,000, winning third place in the 2023 Visa Everywhere competition. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Without that music, let's give him a round of applause, please. All right, thank you so much. And let's hold you there alone, and our guests will step down. So I have a clear shot of you alone with that money. I'm jealous. Congratulations to you. Please step forward so they have a great shot. Woohoo! Third place is, of course, Smile Pay. He's gonna walk smiling with $10,000. Congratulations, sir. Are we good? Okay.
Just stop.
Thank you so much. Well, you want to step down or give me some money, man? All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, young man. Very well deserved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the second place finisher, and to help me with that, I'm going to ask Megan Rabi and Ibrahim Mama to come up. Can somebody give me that? Yes, Ibrahim, you have it? No, I have the mic, don't worry. Yes. And in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we will find out who goes home with 15,000 American dollars. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, first runner-up is...
Kanna.
Well done.
Congratulations to Giuliano, 15,000 American dollars, Visa Everywhere Initiative, Ethiopia 2023. Please in the middle, sir. Anna receives $15,000 in the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2023 Ethiopia Finals. Congratulations, Giuliano. Hey, congratulations to Giuliano once again. A round of applause to Giuliano, please. He came a long way. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to hear? We're left with two hearts beating faster and faster. Some losing already. And I'm feeling pretty jealous. $25,000 goes to third place winner. And to help me with that, I'm going to ask Ato Solomon Damto, Director of Payment Services at the National Bank of Ethiopia, to come up, as well as Ato Yared Ndale, Country Manager for Visa Ethiopia. Not going to get you. Here, it's yours.
This year's Visa Everywhere Initiative Ethiopia winner is Kacha.
What's going on? Hold on to the music. Let me hear how happy you are to see this guy win. This guy is not one of the best speakers, but how do you feel, sir?
አመሰግናለሁ. Thank you very much. It was a tough year. In fact, we were the first to start on the mobile money service. It's a bit tough journey. Thanks to God, thanks to my family, thanks to my team, Igarmal, Miki, Sizana, all my teams. We make it. We did it. Thank you very much. እግዚአብሔር የተመሰገነ ይሁን። ከባድ ጉዞ ነው የነበረው የአንድ ዓመቱ ጉዞ። በእግዚአብሔር እርዳታና በቲሞቼ ጥንካሬ እዚህ ደርሰናል። ሁሉንም ብሔራዊ ባንክ፣ ቪዛ፣ ሌሎችም ባንክ ፓርትነሮቻችን፣ ዴቨሎፕመንት ፓርትነሮቻችን ያደረጋችሁልን ነው እዚህ ያደረሰን። ሁላችሁንም ማመስገን እፈልጋለሁ። ሽልማቱ የሁላችንም ነው። እግዚአብሔር ያክብርልኝ። ቪዛ ኢኒሺየቲቭ ኤንድ all stakeholders, thank you very much.
ሽልማቱ የሁላችንም ከሚለው ያው በኋላ እንገናኛለን ብዬ ነው። Congratulations once again. That is about 1.4 million Ethiopian birr. Only if you are a nice person, you go to the bank. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to kindly invite Kalkidan Fikadu, Business Development Manager at Visa Ethiopia, for a few words in closing. And then once she does her closing speech, we're going to have a networking time where we have some food and some drinks, where we get to meet each other and mingle and, continue some of the conversations that may be left here behind. So without further ado, please welcome Kalkidan to the podium.
Thank you, Taye. Good morning, everyone. Our chief guests, our partners, fintechs, Visa colleagues, and members of the press. It's an honor for me to stand before you as the curtains come down on what has been a very successful and exciting Visa Everywhere Ethiopia 2023 finals. Let me begin by congratulating our winner and also the rest of our finalists. Visa Everywhere Initiative is not just an event, it's a platform that nurtures and celebrates fintechs and innovation. It brings together visionary entrepreneurs, startups, and industry leaders to collectively come together to shape up the future commerce. It provides a stage for fintechs to showcase their transformative solutions, disrupt traditional payments, and commerce models. This platform serves as a breeding ground for ideas and push boundaries on what is possible on digital era. Innovation lies at the core of what we do at Visa, and Visa Everywhere initiative is one of the vehicles we use to drive this forward. Through Visa Everywhere, Visa reaffirms its commitment in forecasting and reaffirming an ecosystem that encourages innovation, technology, and supports emerging talents and promote positive changes. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close today's event, it's my great pleasure to extend my gratitude to my Visa colleagues who have organized this year's event, and for all of you for taking your time to attend this event with us this morning. Our sincere gratitude goes to our judges. Thank you for your time, expertise, and dedication to guide our participants. We also would like to thank our valued service providers who have worked diligently behind the scenes to ensure the impeccable execution of this event. We also would like to thank our MC for the day. Thank you for your outstanding performance throughout the event. We also would like to thank our host, the Science Museum. And once again, we would like to congratulate this year's Visa Everywhere Ethiopia final winner, Katja. Your hard work, commitment, and passion is something to be admired. And we're really excited to see and witness your continued growth and success. And once again, we also would like to thank the rest of our finalists for making it this far. Your remarkable contribution have showcased an immense talent and potential for the fintech community in Ethiopia. In addition, we also would like to thank more than 200 fintechs who have applied for this year's competition. Thank you for your enthusiasm and commitment for technology and innovation. So with this, I'll close today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of your day.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for me to host this wonderful event, and now is time for us to eat. So, where you had breakfast in the morning, right outside, and ushers will be leading you there. You'll get to have some snacks and some drinks and some time to mingle, get to know one another. Thank you all so much for having been with us. And if you want to interact with the fintechs, they will still be here. And thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And we hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day.